It's all about the deal at Brunswick Auto Mart. Save big this month with deals like this. Don't miss the Make This the Summer event and lease a 2022 Ram 1500 Bighorn Quad Cab Night Edition 4x4 with 20-inch blackout wheels for just $375 a month. Or lease a 2022 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab for just $397 a month. Brunswick Auto Mart. Car buying made truly.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Believeland Prep Interview. I'm your host, Kevin Sleds. With me is my co-host, as always, Mr. Joe Yule. How you doing, Joe?
I'm good, Kev. I'm good. Excited to have our special guest on tonight.
Yes, we do have a special guest. He is the head coach of the Highland Hornets, Mr. Mike Gibbons. How you doing, Mike?
Good. Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on your 2-0 start to the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, obviously very successful season so far this year. I mean, you can't get better than 2-0. And, you guys made a pretty decent run in the playoffs last year. Throughout your time playing and coaching, you've had some time to spend some time around some very successful coaches and very well-respected people around the coaching community. Obviously, I'm sure you have a good relationship with Tom Lombardo over there at St. Ed. You played for him, you spent time coaching underneath him. And then also, getting to play for, legendary coach Larry Carries is obviously a treat. Kind of talk us through what you learned from having those guys as mentors.
Yeah, obviously it means a lot. I would even go back to growing up. My father was a coach, and from the time I can remember, I've always been around the game of football. Was following my dad to practices, and camps, and to games. And I kind of came up in the early '90s watching some really good Lake Catholic teams as a young kid, and that kind of lit that fire in me in terms of a passion for football, and that continued throughout my life. I've been very fortunate to be around a lot of good people. Like you mentioned, I had the opportunity to play for my brother-in-law at Lake Catholic, and then to go to Mount Union to get to play for legendary coach Larry Carris. So along the way, you just are appreciative of just the impact that all those people had on me and kind of forming who I am now.
So what do you enjoy most about coaching at the high school level?
Yeah, I think it's the impact that you can have on young people. You get kids from all different types of backgrounds, and the best part of being a coach is the fact that during those important years, you are able to have a huge impact on how they turn out. So, especially at Highland, it's a very tight community, so you really get a chance to see these kids, from a really young age, and they start attending your camps, and then you see them come up through the middle school and into the high school. So you really have a long relationship with these kids. Like this senior group, I remember them when they were in 5th grade, kind of following them all the way through, to the point we're at right now. So it's a really cool thing to be a high school football coach.
You talk about that senior class, being special in a way. You've been following them for a while, and it seems like you had a very standout linebacker last year for you guys, Luke Steels. I hope Steels or Styles. What type of a player is he? Is he is he like a very humble player when it comes to the game?
Yeah, 100%. Lucas is he's a special player. He's a very tough kid, and I always say when your best players are your hardest workers, you can accomplish some great things as a team. We were fortunate last year. We had a really good quarterback, an all-state performer, and Aaron Phillips, who was that. And then this year, Lucas is kind of carrying that torch also. Just be a tremendous leader on and off the field, and then just be a special player, and he impacts the game on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. He's a hard-nosed player. He's 5'11", 220 pounds, and when he hits you, you feel it. So I'm glad I get the opportunity to coach him.
So besides Luke, are there any other players we should look out for as potential impact players this season?
Yeah, I think, Luke obviously is a returning All-State player. Andrew Tadalinsky plays defensive line and offensive line for us. He's 6'4", 245-pound impact player on the defensive line. He had 3 sacks in our Week 1 game. Andrew Lurtz is playing quarterback for us. He's doing a great job. Makes some really, really nice throws. And we have also on the defense side of the ball with Matthew Haney at linebacker. We have Mitchell Good at linebacker. Those 3 are all returning. At safety, we have a 3-year starting safety in Creed Hill, all-district performer last year, just a special player, right? One of the best safeties we've had in our program. And then there's a cast of other players that are doing a great job, and it's going into Week 3, so it's a long road ahead still. So a lot of opportunities for kids out there.
So, when you're coaching and everything, how do you get your team to, bounce back from a loss or anything? Like, what's your first response? Is it, just kind of feel the room out in a way?
Yeah, I think football, it's an emotional game. So, you feel great if you win the game. And if you lose, you feel as bad as you could possibly feel. But I think the important thing to know is, like, the sun still comes up the next day, whether you win or lose. So in football terms, you kind of move on pretty quick. And if you want to be a good program, whatever you do on Friday night, once it's over, it's over. And then once you wake up Saturday, it's time to turn the page and get ready for the next challenge, next opportunity. So it's kind of just every week's its own season. It's kind of how we look at it. And we're fortunate to, win our first 2 games, but every week presents its own challenge, and we know we have to be ready week in and week out.
So Joe mentioned tough losses. You guys lost in the regional semis to Toledo Central Catholic last year. What are your expectations for the Hornets in 2022?
Yeah, we're excited about, playing Brunswick tomorrow night. And, I really do believe that, and I mean that, is, we really are taking this thing one week at a time. We returned quite a few players from last year's team. We're excited about this team. We know we have a lot of talent. But if we look past, where we're at right now, we'd be doing a disservice to our team and to our program. So, again, the focus is on Brunswick, and we're excited about that challenge. And that's kind of where we're at.
You mentioned, how you guys are taking it 1 week at a time and everything. And then obviously this week being Brunswick. Is that kind of a rivalry game in a way, with it being so close to each other?
Yeah, I think it's kind of turning into a little bit of a rivalry that way. It's a big school that's, 15 minutes down the road. They're close by. And we played each other quite a bit recently. So, I think it is kind of turning into a little bit of a rivalry. I have a lot of respect for that program and their coaching staff. And we know it's going to be a packed house tomorrow night. It's a great atmosphere for high school football games. So that's really what it's all about. I know they're excited, and so are we.
All right. Before we let you go, if there's one word you could use to describe your team this year, what would it be?
Yeah, I think, I would say probably relentless. And defensively, we're fun to watch. And offensively, we've done some good things the last couple of weeks too. But I just think that this defense is special. We have 5 kids that played as sophomores that are seniors right now, and they get to the ball, and it's almost, as a coach, you kind of look back and just get caught watching it because it's special. So, that's how we want to attack teams and put a lot of pressure on them. So, hopefully we can keep this thing rolling and have a real special season.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck tomorrow night against Brunswick. We'll have a couple guys there covering the game, and best of luck to you the rest of the season as well.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Coach.
Yep.
Have a good night.
You too. Take care.